Dominic, I was an athlete in Puerto Rico. I was running one afternoon and I fall in the ground. When I fall in the ground, I hit my neck, start with a cervical pain. Basically, back in this time, I remember suffering a lot, 6 months or 7 months to recover. I went to many different doctors, many of them. None of them basically helped me to achieve, better of me, my recovery. So what I did
Mhm.
back in this time was basically go more deeper, research, looking different alternative in life. And I found there's many alternative ways that our body can heal.
So someone in that situation, obviously they can go someone to someone like you, but what else can they do? From what I'm understanding is if you just take care of yourself and you give your body what it needs, you'll
Exactly.
be fine in a natural way. Now, so what you're saying is eat the right things, exercise, and take care of your mental health. What else can
Yes.
they do?
Okay, to me, one of the most important thing is
Peter, if someone just clicked on this podcast, can you tell me the reason why they should stay around and listen and what you
sure.
think they're going to get from this conversation?
Well, we're gonna have a nice conversation, a nice Socratic deep conversation about health system, and I think the audience can expect a lot of nice discussion, a lot of facts, um, and if they want to achieve the better version of them, I think they should give us opportunity, to talk about nice things today. So we have a nice perspective about life, and I think that the audience will love our conversation. We have a lot to talk today.
We do, we do. Peter, who are you? Why should people listen to you?
Okay, I think people. I have a background in sciences and also in naturopathic medicine. I was a senior research like a few years ago. I was involved in nice research in Costa Rica, metabolic diseases, anti-aging medicine, all this stuff. So basically, I have knowledge. So in many ways, and one of them is that we can help people. That's the focus, Dominic. Help people to be better in life, and also that they can have a good version of their self. There's a lot of things going on right now out there, and I think that we represent hope.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's beautiful. You touched on Socratic and the Socratic way. Do you mind elaborating on that? What do you mean by Socratic?
I think Socratic is one of the things that is missing even in education around the globe, that we can analyze, we can discuss things, we can go deeper, analyzing, using the critical thinking about life, about sciences, about about economic system. There's just so much that maybe we can talk about that. This is a technique that basically a long time ago, since centuries, the people practice. That even if we have a difference in things, we can talk and we can also analyze different things in life, and maybe we can have different conclusions about that.
I'm very fascinated by the Socratic way as well. I think it's a way of life that is not too prevalent, and it's a great way of life because you really question things, and it's a way of life where I don't know, you become very conscious of things, and you look at things in a different light. And I want to touch on, how did you get there? How did you get to that type of thinking, Peter? Where did it all start? Please tell me.
Sure, yes. I was Dominic. I was an athlete in Puerto Rico, so I born and grew up in Puerto Rico, and also I have a background. My family came from Spain. So in 2014, I was study biochemistry and all these sciences, um, and the fact was that I was training. I was training for I was running one afternoon and I fall in the ground. When I fall on the ground, I hit my neck, start with a cervical pain. And basically, back in this time, I remember suffering a lot, 6 months or 7 months to recover. I went to many different doctors, many of them. Okay, I spent thousands of dollars basically in my recovery. Uh, and basically, the science back in this time, I was looking for hope. Pain, I was paralyzed in many things, even in my brain as well. A lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas, And I think one of the treasures that we have is health. This is very important. And back in this time, I remember that basically none of them uh, basically helped me to achieve, better of me, my recovery. So what I did
Mhm.
back in this time was basically go more deeper, research, looking different alternative in life. And I found there's many alternative ways that our body can heal. Our body is smart. And back in this time, I felt like lack of hope in many ways. But I recovered my health because my goal is basically okay to help other people, not just only me. And I use my experience basically that pain helped me to achieve other things that I haven't seen before. One of them was like research why I have this pain in my cervical neck. Um, and I discovered many things back in this time. One of them was that uh, sometimes life you have a meaning, you have a reason, okay? And I was that tool basically. So my strong research background in find solutions. Why? Because I don't want to. Back this time, I suffer many things, and I don't want not just only me, other people. Like they have hope, basically in the system, in the medical system,
Mhm.
and that experience helped me to be better in life, to be more human, to respect life, to find other ways maybe to heal.
There's a few things I want to digress there or dive deeper into rather. You, by the way, insane story. I've never heard about that. First of all, I want to touch on you using that pain to solve your problem and then using that to inspire other people. I want to touch
Correct.
on
Yeah.
that because I'm in a similar situation. I didn't go through what you went through because that was way more tragic. My story is a little bit different, Peter. I was in a different type of pain. I was in a more privileged pain. I was in the pain of I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way I felt. And I used that pain to get out of my situation. And now I use that as fuel to inspire other people, to show them what they are capable of, that they can change their life in a matter of years, in a matter of months. And that is why I do what I do. And that's why I think that resonated with me so well. The question I have for you is how did you solve that problem? You mentioned not relying on the normal medical system. How did you solve that problem that you had for so long?
Okay. It's a nice question, Dominic. And one of the things is that I'm very curious. I like to research. I like to find what is behind of this pain. Okay, so back in this time, one of the things was like, hey, my fuel is I don't want to be in bed all my life. So I want to be successful. So basically, um, I have a purpose in life. I have a destiny in life. I remember back in this time, I have a dream, and the dream basically was my fuel, my fire, my inspiration. In that dream, um, I remember that I was, suffering a lot of pain, but in the dream, basically, I was looking for different solutions in plants, in different things in life, and basically was my motive. Like, hey, no, you can do better. You can do other stuff as well. So what I did was like start like looking other stuff, other alternative, not just only in the conventional medicine, okay? And in plants, in sunshine, and sun is very powerful as well.
In
So
what
I
way?
remember in one way you have the vitamin D. The sun
Okay.
is
Yeah.
basically help you, to produce your vitamin D, and this is something that the people maybe don't realize the importance of the vitamin D. But some people are depressed because they lack of vitamin D. Um, and I was in my home, basically inside, okay, drinking. I remember that I was like drinking, pills and all this stuff, and I just stopped that. When I read all the, if you read basically, all the side effects of the medication are terrible. I was in pain. My cervical, basically the C5, was in pain. All my back was in pain. So my back in this time, if I continue basically like with these pills, I was an addict maybe to the system and also to the other stuff that is not, good, in life. So
What did you find, Peter?
in the medical system or in the,
Yeah, let me clarify. So
yeah,
you mentioned there were a lot of side effects with
correct,
the conventional medicine.
correct,
Wh-
yes.
Why do you think, why are there side effects? Isn't the health system supposed to protect us?
Well, I think that this is a mentality, that people maybe they have the hope more in the government and the medical system. But to me, the medical system, to me, they fail me in many ways. For example, um, if you think what a person that maybe they have a lot of goals, they have a lot of dreams in life, what a person is going to do, in bed because they have pain, drinking all medications, different drugs that they have side effects in the liver, and they have a side effects in your brain. They have other effects that eventually you're going to have another consequences because all the ingredients that you have in the medications.
Why are these ingredients in there?
I think it's one of the ways that the pharmaceuticals, for example, they made drugs. And by the way, the drugs, that they don't solve problems. It's basically they block problems.
They don't solve problems, they block problems.
Correct.
Do you mind elaborating?
Sure. Yes. So, for example, if you have a pain, in your, let me put it in that way. If you have a in your body, maybe you have a pain in something, I can basically block the receptors, in that particular
Okay.
pain. But the root of the pain is beyond of that. Is it maybe lifestyle? Is it maybe nutrition? You have to think, or maybe is your way of system, or way of thinking in life that is producing this. So it's these different ways, that you can basically be a slave in your own thoughts. And the fact is, the allopathic medicine, for example, they look, okay, the body in parts. So it's a disease model based in drugs. It's a complex diagnosis that you're going to have with different specialization, different doctors, different things. Who's going to resolve that problem? More drugs, more drugs, more drugs? And eventually you're going to have more problems because the system in allopathic medicine is basically this. You're going to have multiple things, creating more drugs, more drugs, more drugs. But the truth is, your body, if you feed your body, If you give the body that you need, the body's going to heal itself.
Really, really interesting. Tell me, Peter, it sounds to me like it's all money making. Is that the reason behind the side effects, the not revealing of the truth?
Correct, because it's a system, it's a economic system. So the allopathic medicine, one of the goals is they treat a patient, but also you're going to have a system that is going to be basically around the same problem. They will not fix the problem, and they're going to give you more drugs. Does it make sense?
It makes sense. Now, Peter, tell me,
It's a
someone listening to this.
cycle.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So you get hooked, and then it's like one problem, then you solve that problem, but then another problem comes, and then they give you another pill for that, but then another problem comes, right?
Yeah.
It's a never ending cycle. Someone listening to this, Peter, who is like in that situation, and they thinking to themselves, "Shit, how do they get out of it?"
Okay, there is a good question. The first thing that the person needs to think is there. I mean, I want to tell the people, the aliens, that there's hope. Okay, there's hope. But one of the things is you need to connect with the good people. You know, the people that holistic people that they think beyond not just only the allopathic medicine. There's
Where can you find
many
them?
different. Okay, in United States, you have different, like me, for example, I'm an naturopathic doctor, okay? And there is Oriental medicine. I also have a background in Oriental medicine as well. There is different type, chiropractic medicine as well. There's different ways. Also, you have nutrition. But the truth
Okay.
is, one of the most important things, Dominic, is that the people need to realize that connection and networking is important. And the other thing is, we can talk about facts. We are ready to talk about that. Facts in the United States and also in different countries. You're going to see that down the road. Okay, what is the fact is that, for example, I don't know if the people, I don't know if they know that, but the U.S. spending for 2021 was close to 17% of the basically GDP. This is a lot of money spending, uh, in different things, like, for example, different drugs, different ways, to heal the body, but that's not helping us. And I don't know if you aware of the aliens that are aware, but here in the United States, for example, according to Statista, which is a report agency, heart diseases, cancer, immune problems, accidents, strokes are in the top, are leading the top. So why in the world, in here in the United States, they're spending this amount of money? And the truth is, the people is sick, more sick, more sick, more sick. So you need to start thinking like, what is happening here? So I spend a lot of money, 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 money for what? So I don't see myself getting better by the time.
That's really interesting. I want to unpack this. So someone in that situation, obviously they can go someone like you, but what else can they do? Can they just, because from what I'm understanding is, if you just take care of yourself and you give your body what it needs, you'll
Exactly.
be fine in a natural way. Now, so what you're saying is eat the right things, exercise, and take care of your mental health. What else can
Yes.
they do?
Okay, to me, one of the most important thing is this is something that I learned. Good people around you make difference. Okay.
Okay.
The other things that I do, I read a lot of nice books. So research is important.
Why is that
Okay.
important?
Because the fact is that, for example, a person who do not educate themselves, they trust in more in the system. They're trusting more in the pharmaceutical drugs and all this stuff. I mean, they're educating themselves only in one system, what they want that you basically do or learn.
Mhm.
But if you break that pattern, basically, there's a lot of nice books, nice research, and nice things, and you can educate yourself. It's going to be your trigger to start thinking out of the box.
Mm.
And then start like, hey, this, yes, now I have light. And if you have light in your brain, you have power, you have knowledge, you have wisdom, man, you can do other stuff as, you can achieve the better version of you. That's all
Okay.
about.
Yeah, makes sense. Being curious, being educating yourself, being able to look at things from a different perspective, not just one dimensional. So that's what you mean, right?
Correct. And also have Socratic conversations with other people.
What do you mean by a Socratic conversation?
For example, I don't agree with all my friends, some of them, but they still be my friends. But we have conversation, deep conversation, and you grow as a person.
If from what I'm understanding, Peter, it's a Socratic conversation is looking at things from an objective standpoint, detaching your ego and yourself from the opinion. It's more of a scientific view of this is my hypothesis. This is what I assume to be true. Let's examine the facts. Let's talk about it. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, let's go to the fact. For example, we basically we touch many things here about the USA system, for example. This is a fact. But the people, they don't realize that you need to go beyond these numbers. We're talking about numbers here, but you need to go, this is a surface, but you need to start thinking why, okay, we have, USA is an advanced country. We have everything here. Why the people is so sick? It's one of the things that you need to start thinking. Why I'm sick? Why I have a system that they don't is based more in, I call like a recycle thing, like in cycles, the same thing, the same medication, the same protocols, the same thing. No, we need to start thinking out of the box, Dominic. Okay, we need to start thinking in the roots. Why is causing this problem to me?
I like that. The roots. What are the roots? Where did it all start, Peter? Because, I mean, it wasn't like this forever, right? Where did it all start? And what's the main reason behind the government not doing anything about this and actually advocating for it and pushing it even more?
Remember the agenda? Everyone in the world, some people, they have their own personal reasons and agenda. And it's a system, it's an economic system. And money talks. You know that.
Mm.
Power talks.
I want to go into power because my belief is that, I don't know, I've had this belief for a long time, or rather, I'll call it an assumption that the food industry and the medical industry work closely together because it never made sense to me. They feed you shit, and but then they tell you it's okay because your mental health is important and everything, but don't worry, we've got these pills, right? You take the
Exactly.
pills and then you stuck, but they'll tell you to eat more, and then you stuck in that cycle and you never get out. And I think it comes from power because if you're in that position, you are hooked, you are
Hmm.
dependable, and you are
Hmm.
controllable. If you are
Correct.
controllable, that's what they want. Now, that is my assumption. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with you 100%. Because from centuries, the humans, some humans, they look for power, they look for control, they look for manipulation. If I can manipulate certain, amount of people, I'm in charge. And this is exactly what they're looking for, be in power. But the people need to start thinking in the facts. The people start thinking in the roots. Why the roots? Because to me, okay, the brain, our brain is powerful. It contains a lot of thousands and thousands, okay, of amazing cells connected for a purpose. And the fact is, you have an idea of something. That idea is a trigger in your brain, is a fool of your brain. And if you think that the government is your savior, okay, that's you. And then you put this little idea that the government is my savior, and I have to be 100%, in that basically mentality. Well, that's you feeding your brain with this type of mentality. However, uh, it's important that people realize that there's more beyond of this. There's a lot of nice people that they are humble, good scientists around the globe that they want to solve real problems. They want to that you be successful in life. But
So
the
what you're
fact
saying,
is,
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead, Dominic.
So just so I understand, so in order for someone to get out of this, they need to educate themselves first. And the second thing, let's talk about mindset first, right? Educating themselves, trying to get out of this box, seeing things from a different perspective. And the way you do that is educating yourself and getting around the right people. Would that be fair to say?
Yes. And the other thing, Dominic, which I recommend myself, I travel a lot. So, for example, um, I have access to Central America, South America. I love to connect with people, to humble people, and then
Yeah.
learn about them. I have good friends in Costa Rica. I have good friends in Mexico. I have good friends in South America. I have good friends in Spain. So I love to connect with people. I like to know basically the culture, the background, the genetics of them. And this is important that we know also our roots, who I am, what is my purpose also in life. So
Mm.
the fact is that to me it's important the roots, the history, for example. We can analyze and we can talk about the history of the United States, and we can talk about why United States, is one of the leaders right now, basically exporting, a lot of drugs and all of this stuff. He has a background with the Rockefeller.
Talk to me about that.
Well, basically, the Rockefeller, if you read the history, for example, powerful people, they like to manage and control a lot of funding, but they changed basically what was the original intention of the medicine. They basically was, I mean, basically the thinking of them was more capitalism. And I'm okay with capitalism. I myself am a capitalist, but it's too much greedy. And
Mm.
back in this time, the greedy basically to make more money, more money, more money. Okay, they change basically the medical system, and they say,
When
"Hey,
was this?
let huh?
When was this?
When you say when? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Say
Yeah,
that.
yeah. When did
When?
that shift take place? When?
Well, basically the Rockefeller took place, the era of these things, I don't remember very well exactly, but around basically the 40s and the 50s, it was a revolution, basically that era, and they changed many things in the medical system. So a lot of drugs. Uh, Here in the United States, the medical system changed, the hospital, all this stuff, more focused in allopathic medicine. So they say, no, we need to do something, that we can have much money. And then you have the greedy factor.
Mm. You wanted to go on. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You wanted to. to share something else. Did I disrupt your train of thought?
Um, One of the things, Dominic, is that um, the people need to, and again, we talk about that, but it's important that the people think out of the box. So let's go to our roots. Let's read about the history. And this is very powerful. History, when we read about history, okay, what happened, with the civilizations, all this stuff, I think you have a power there. In my experience, for example, one of my research was in Costa Rica, and I study the blue zone, which many people, like talk about that, and I love to be immersed of the knowledge of these people back in 2019 and 20. And so to me, this is something important as well. I think I mentioned to you that traveling and connect with people is important. Know the cultures, why they're suffering, how we can do better and support and help people. This is something that we need to start thinking about that as well. So the people cannot, let me put it another way, realize that the government, as I mentioned that before, is they have everything, they have the ultimate, knowledge. It's not that truth. We need to start thinking and create different systems that basically we can achieve different goals in our health in different systems. For example, one of them is Oriental medicine. A lot of knowledge there.
What is Oriental medicine?
It's based the philosophy of Oriental medicine, which is basically in China, a long time, and Chinese medicine is very long. Um, they basically see you, okay, as a natural approach that the spirit, soul, and body are connected. And the roots basically are imbalances. So they basically, when you have imbalances in your body, so in the Chinese medicine perspective, they see us as channels of energy. So we have meridians, we have basically this. And when we have imbalance of energy in one of our organs, it affects other organs. Basically, this is the philosophy of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. I wanna go deeper into the nutrition side of things because we mentioned the mindset side of things just now. I really want to touch on the nutrition side of things because first of all, I'm a big capitalist as well, right? I think capitalism is great. However, if you take advantage of someone's health, that's where I draw the line because that is what's happening. They are taking advantage of people's health. They are messing with people's health, with people's lives. And that's where I draw the line. Now, when it comes to nutrition, Peter, what is it or what does it mean to you to have a good diet?
Yeah, well, it's a good question, Dominic, and let me talk to you about that. There is a many right now. There's a many diets, that. Okay, so there's many things, going on there. Um, but if we go deeper about nutrition, what we put in our mouth, which is part of the digestive system, is important. And one of the things that we have here, in the United States and other country, is that the people eat so much sugar. Okay.
Mm,
And the problem is that with the sugar, too much sugar affect our metabolism as well. And that is a trigger. And the trigger also is insulin resistance. It's one of the things that we have right now. So for example, you right now see in the streets a lot of kids, like basically they're feeding them with a lot of sugar, 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 sugar. It's so much sugar. It's an insane amount of sugar. Then we have a situation. But the nutrition, as you mentioned, the medical system of nutrition, they're basically working together in many things. Uh, but they're causing that. So the people is basically feeding with so much carbs that is not healthy, so much bad fat, which is not something good as well. And if you, for example, see the facts and the numbers here in America, it's just insane the amount of the industry, for example, that they have candies. It's so insane. And the people
Mm.
basically they're feeding, themselves with basically garbage, bad food. And then eventually by the time they're gonna have a model of disease what they have, but the trigger basically is what we put in our mouth. Then you have so much refined sugar in most of food, which I told you basically that it causes like elevate insulin resistant levels, and then you have the perfect, model disease. That is basically the root for all the mother of different diseases like obesity and depression and anxiety, all this stuff is because of that. Too extreme, too much sugar, too much. It's insane the amount of that.
How does sugar tie into depression? Talk to me about that. Because the
Uh,
reason I want to touch on that, Peter, is because depression is at its highest point it's ever been. I have a quite strong opinion on this too, but I want to hear your thoughts. How does sugar correlate with depression, Peter?
mhm. Sure. Okay. One of the things is the trigger. Let's think about the trigger. Okay, the insulin resistant levels too high in your brain. So then you have a problem, basically in your cells, communication your cells. Too
Mm,
much toxic cause that as well. Then
mm,
you have an effect basically, in some nutrients that's going to be affected because of that. So refined sugar is one of the causes in our body is inflammation. When you have your brain inflammation in your brain and in your systems, it's the perfect trigger also for all these cardio metabolic diseases. So then I have a huge monster, big monster right now that the industry, they're going to love this, the extreme capitalism, because then I have more drugs to sell.
mm.
But basically this, and one of the things is also the lifestyle. So sedentary lifestyle. Right now, you have a lot of people, in their houses, basically, like doing playing games or stuff as well. They don't like to walk. They don't want to be in nature. What they want is just basically play and waste time as well. A lot of kids doing this as well. So basically, you have the perfect model, for the allopathic medicine, model disease. You have like a kid basically in their home playing games like 6 hours, 7 hours, okay? Plus, you have a lot of sugar, lot of pizza, which is extreme, lot too much carbs, and then you have all the insulin levels in your body is going to be basically up, 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 and then you have obesity, and then you have problems, in your brain as well, because too much inflammation, then you're gonna have another problems, in your brain as well.
So from what I'm hearing, Peter, is it's the combination of that rise in sugar, which causes that inflammation in the brain, causes that monster, to use your words, and then combination of being inside, not walking, not getting fresh air, not getting sunlight, and that is leading to depression.
Yes, absolutely. And it's incredible that it's a it's to me it's a epidemic right now. This is too much people inside of home, basically. Um, and the fact is that they eat so much. That's another thing. and the eating is not well because you're eating so much, carbs and sugar. So they're feeding themselves basically with a lot of not good food.
Okay, and then that not good food, as I said, and the combination of just being inside, that is sort of leading to depression. But I want to touch on a third thing, which is the lack of maybe goals, lack of ambition, lack
Yes.
of,
Yeah.
because I know I would be depressed if I didn't have some type of purpose or ambition, or because what gets me up every single day and makes me smile is my purpose. Being able to help people, being able to do what I love, that's what gets me up. And I think people who don't have that, they might struggle. And then the way they make themselves feel better is with sugar, is with video games to get that dopamine, as opposed to maybe just doing something that they're passionate about, chasing a dream, chasing a goal, helping people, having a purpose, because that has transformed my life.
Exactly. You absolutely, Dominic, 100% right. You need that passion. You need that fire inside of you that motivate to do things better in life. To when we are connected, we as a humans, when we are connected with people, that we have this energy together, we can do amazing things. And the fact that right now the segregation is so much that, and the fact that basically we have a society that is addicted to many things. And one of them is sugar. And the others is so much video games. And it's a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? It's just like it's a, the perfect combination.
Video games, sugar, lack of ambition. How can someone get more ambition, Peter? Again,
What?
going around the right people, what would you say? How can people
Yes.
find their purpose?
You need to start thinking why I'm here. This is one of the facts. Why I'm here.
Mm,
Why is I mean the why factor to me and the question is Socratic as well. And we need to start thinking about that. And the fact is for me, maybe for you too, uh, for me the pain was like a fire, but also was one of the trigger not to be conformist, in life and do other stuff as well. And to me, faith is something strong inside of me that I say to my family, I don't want to be another scientist.
yeah, yeah. I guess it's the purpose bigger than you that sort of drives you, right? Because I feel like if it's self-centered, you won't do it to the same degree as if it was something bigger than you, right?
Exactly. And this is bigger than you, is your faith, is your purpose, and
Yeah,
that you can achieve, uh, you can do better. Every day I learn. It's a
I like
process.
that.
Learning is a growing. Learning is a process. I learn. I learn from you. Your content, your videos, uh, you're doing an excellent job. In terms, that you influence people to do better in life. That's exactly what we need. Role models, people different, mentors, coach, people that thinks that they can dream. You know what it means, that they can be eagles. That are the people that we need in life. Inspiration, motivation, people that is humble. Not because I
People that
study in XY university. No, that's not because I have, for example, in my life, I have 12 years of study. And I say, no, I mean, that's not define me. My purpose, yes. My destiny, yes. People like you, yes, define me.
I appreciate that, Peter. Speaking of learning and always growing, I really want to. dive deeper into the nutrition side of things, because I feel like you have a lot of valuable knowledge to share to the audience in regards to that. What is the right diet? We hear about, I don't know, keto, we hear
Yeah.
vegetarian, we hear vegan, we hear low carb, we hear, what is the right diet, Peter?
This is a good question, Dominic. The fact is, yeah, there's a lot of basically diets outside. You know that. What I discovered, this is me, okay, in my research, in my thesis, that I did few years ago. When I was immersed researching in Costa Rica with the Blue Zone people, one of the things that I discovered is that basically uh, um, it was one of the things that is this restriction, okay, in diet, in the calories. This is something important. Uh, I discovered that meat is important. This is a controversy, okay, but meat is important. Grass-fed meat is important
Why
because
is it important?
you have nutrients there. You have a lot of amino acid that is important in that type of meat. The problem is, Dominic, is right now that the industry, we have fake meat as well. I don't know if you know that, but you have fake meat as well. So this is something that I don't know if you know that fact, but the soil is depleted. Okay, then we have other issues also in the toxicity in the soil, our water, all these
Mm,
resources. We have too much toxics as well. Uh, the fact is, when I discovered that, when I went in Costa Rica and immersed in all these things, okay, they consume a lot of things that, um, like meat, vegetables, like clean water, that is important as well. Um, they basically are very active people. They like to walk. They like to be in sunshine. They like to be connected, surrounding about nice people, the family, support family. This is important as well.
mm.
So, back in your question, me, they have dense nutrition as well. And if you basically study the history of this, so most of our civilization, okay, depends, of different countries as well, the history. Uh, you're going to find that most of them, they eat meat with vegetables and all this stuff. Now, one fact, important fact, is that with the meat is that if you provide to your chickens, to the cows, you provide them good nutrition, grass fed, that cow is going to be healthy. But if you provide this cow with not healthy food, then you can have another problem.
What is not healthy food?
Healthy food, for example, right now here, what I discover, here, and I have strong research in that. Right now, the problem that we have, they're feeding animals with corn and all this stuff, that
Hmm.
are not basically uh, a good system, that the production that you have right now, for example, you have a lot of chickens, right? And right now in the chicken industry, they feed a lot with mix, of different things, synthetic things, because they're looking for production. And then you put in their food, antibiotics and all this stuff. And then you have a super chicken, the greedy production. And then we have another problem because our body is not designed for that. Our body reject that. You're putting toxics, in our ecosystem, then you're gonna have a problem. You have the toxic.
Yeah, so these chickens are being fed all these all these medications,
Exactly.
and we basically take that in, and that causes problems with us. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, you have corn, too much
Mm.
corn, synthetic corn,
Why is that bad?
because they're more focused in production, estrogen, all this stuff. Same thing as human. Maybe you know more about that.
Mm.
Too much. I mean, too much synthetic thing.
Talk to me about the right diet again. What is the right diet then? We have, okay, we agree that we need to add meat. The right meat, though, the grass fed meat. What else makes up a good diet, Peter?
Okay, I'm very in all my research, and the things that I treat people and help people. The keto modify is a good one. Is what I found that is a good one. Now, keto they have many versions. Okay, so myself I like a lot of keto Mediterranean diet. I think I like
Mm.
that one. Restricted in many things in calories, but I'm a big fan that you need a little bit of cheese, good cheese, grass-fed
Mm.
cheese. Um, it's healthy
Why is cheese
because you
good?
have vitamin K as well. You have vitamin Ks, you have a lot of nice, proteins as well. So I like the fact that you have more healthy proteins. These proteins, for example, you have different ways, that you can feed yourself. Um, uh, with plants as well. There's people that love plants. Okay, I'm okay with that. But some plants they don't have the whole amino acid profile. This is something that the people need to start thinking about that. And in the veggie diet, basically, okay, some studies that I have, uh, the vitamin 12, they have deficiency in many stuff as well, and in the amino acid profiles that are run in some of the people that I help as well, they have deficiency because of that. And the fact is, nuts are important. Depends if you're allergic or not. This is a controversy as well. But I like, macadamia, for example. I like that one. Almonds, raw almonds are packed of lot of good, proteins as well. Um, Eggs. There's a controversy there, in eggs, but uh,
Why is
I
there
don't like
controversy
nothing
in eggs?
because cholesterol thing,
Mm.
and
So
you're gonna
should
see
you be eating
different.
eggs?
I'm sorry.
Should you be eating eggs?
Yes, you have vitamin D there. You have proteins as well. Now,
Mm.
grass-fed eggs.
Okay,
That's the
got you.
fact here.
Yeah.
The problem that we have is too much toxins. That's a thing that that people need to realize and think about that. Too much toxicity in our soil, in our plants, um, in our air, all this stuff. These toxics basically pollute, uh, our animals, all this stuff. So what I'm trying is basically to that you understand the power to eat more and spend basically and invest. I think it's more investing, invest in your food, invest of the quality of your food, support communities, support people who they basically has this mentality of grass fed, food. This is important. um, Try to consume food not loaded with pesticide is something that is important, or herbicides as well.
So you have a great, or what's your thoughts on organic?
Yes, I like organic, but also you need to be careful about reading the labels and all this stuff, because also they have some people say that this is organic. For example, oh, I have a carrot. Yeah, it says organic, but sometimes it's not organic as well.
Mm.
There's
How
something
do
that
you
you
know
have
that?
another business, because the organic thing.
Ah.
I myself, I try to consume organic as well. Um, I'm a very fan of that. But the truth is, you need to research more about who, I mean, where's the source of that? And the fact
Mm,
is sometimes, Dominic, they abuse of the price.
mm. So they can just put the label on there and say it's organic, but it's not.
It can happen. In USA, it's more regulated, but it can happen.
Mm.
And then I sell you more expensive. Remember
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we talk about the greedy factor? So we have the greedy factor in many places. Now, what we need is a human factor. What we need is people, leaders. We have a crisis in leadership around the globe. People who love. Love is important. I think we need a revolution in love and passion. Respect life. Respect people.
What do you think the biggest shift would need to be? What do you if you were the president of the United States, what would you change?
Oh gosh. One of the things is a lot, but one of
Of
the
course.
things is, yeah, I think we need a reform in many things, especially in the health system. We need to respect people. And one of the things is I change basically, we need to start, let me put it that, Dominic, we need to start educating people. That's one of the things.
The
Education
right
is
way.
key in the right way. And love people and
Mm.
destroy the segregation as well.
Yeah.
So don't take advantage of the segregation, economic status, all this stuff for divide people.
I guess that goes then to just educating people because or giving
Hmm.
them the right mindset because at the end of the day we're human, right? And we all
Exactly.
have an ego, we all have in a way we always want what is best for us, right? It's human nature, we want to survive, right? Then it would just go to educating on okay, let's have the perspective of if we look after each other we will all be better as opposed to being greedy.
Exactly. And education is the key, is the power, for achieve all these goals. And I think the people here in my conversations, in many things that I have in the daily, they have lack of hope. And one of the things is important is that I think that we need to bring this hope to the people. The ignite the fire of the people. Like they can dream again. They can basically have freedom. To me, freedom is very important. You have the power to choose. That's something important as well.
When you say freedom, do you mean freedom of speech? Do you mean freedom of thoughts? Do you mean freedom of what do you mean by freedom?
Freedom of speech is very important, and also the freedom that basically, you better know that, in the media, there's a couple of things going on right now. And the fact is, we need to speak the truth. We need to go outside and say, yeah, this is wrong and this is bad.
Mm,
And the values are important, the moral your values.
yeah.
And this is what we're lacking right now. We're lacking about leaders, about values, about principles in our society.
Do you think it goes back to people being weak because they're eating the wrong things, consuming the wrong things, being around the wrong people?
It's one of the factors is this, but the other is that they what they have, what they learn is another factor as well. Too much
And what?
manipulation with facts.
Mm,
What they say, science in the facts in the sciences. And that's not true.
mm. I think it's very, very difficult for someone these days to really recognize what is really the truth, what is not the truth. And I think it goes to your earlier point of just being educated even more. Like, educate yourself, listen to different people, have different perspectives, as opposed to just hearing one and seeing that as the truth.
Exactly. And then I think life is one of the best uh, teachers and patient.
I would agree.
For example, you and I were talking, about many stuff. Some people are going to say, I agree, or they disagree, and I'm okay with that. But the fact is that we have passion, we have knowledge, and the truth is we have wisdom. So I think people need to realize that, for example, me, I respect that. This is golden. This is gold. You know what I mean? This is important.
Mm.
And the experience that you have in life also can help you to be better, better person in life. One of the things, Dominic, I want to mention that I miss my grandfather. He passed away a long time ago. He died because cancer. That was another motive to me. But my grandfather, he was a role model to me as well. Not because he had too much to study. No. It was because the values that he have, the
Mm.
passion that he had for work and be better in life. And this is something that is inside of me.
I can see that. I can see that. Peter, that is a beautiful thing because I think your values are what makes you, what you think is important, not what you believe, but what you think is important, your values.
Yeah. In the Austrian economic system, which I like that philosophy of thinking, value is defined is subjective. In American system, the value is more money, status. That's what people, value you.
Mm.
I value you as a person. I'm talking about now, Dominic. I value you because
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You just cut out there.
so value is subjective. So you put value, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And the people, for example, I value people. I respect the time of people. Time is something that you invest or you waste, depends.
Yeah, that is very, very true.
But with
Peter,
you, I'm thinking that I value you because of the time. There's no money, okay, that can pay us what we are doing today. There's no money because we care about people.
Peter, that is a beautiful, beautiful way to bring this conversation to a close. I think this was short, relatively short. It's been over an hour. Concise, a lot of value, a lot of things to think about for myself, but also for a lot of listeners. Peter, I thank you so much for hopping on.
Thank you, Dominic, to you. And I think we're going to do amazing things. And the people as well. Um, so no fear.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Me, me too.
Pleasure, Peter.
Me as well, okay?